Hello and welcome to another Ethereum update. I wanted to just do another update of Ethereum today because the chart is very interesting at the moment, and we are really exactly at this tipping point of $3,412 that I mentioned already in my earlier video today. We briefly broke above this level and we are just doing it now again. But this is really the tipping point that will decide about where Ethereum is going to head in the next few weeks. So why is this level so important? Well, let's take a look at the chart. Obviously, as you might know if you've been following me, we had our impulse here in a wave 1 that was back in November. Now coming down, maybe already finished, maybe not, in this wave 2. So this is the second wave in which Ethereum in a corrective wave here hit the target area down here. That target area was defined many weeks ago. So we came into that target area. As you can see, it touched it basically, came a little bit into it, and then turned around and has now started to move up. But this $3,412 level, that previous wave 4 here, that is basically the tipping point where I believe we are going to see here a decision if we have the more bearish outlook or the more bullish outlook in the next few weeks. So why is this so important? So we have obviously this ABC pattern here. Yeah, this is certainly one key scenario. Based on this A, B, and C, we could possibly regard this correction as finished. Yeah, and you have the low here of the wave 2 in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move down. But you can also, so there are still, we always need to understand what are the other possible scenarios, because I mean a chart can only do so many different patterns. It's not, it can't do everything. So there are a few highly likely scenarios now that could evolve here based on the Elliott Wave method, based on the Elliott Wave count, because we could see what the chart is doing here at the moment. Basically all of this here, you could regard, you could count it differently in a way that what we have down here, this fifth wave, yeah, that this is only part of a higher degree wave 3, similar to Bitcoin, yeah. So that you basically had here your wave 3, yeah. Then we are coming up in a wave 4. This is still what is basically invalidated now on the Bitcoin chart, but this is still a possibility on the Ethereum chart where you had your wave 3. You made your wave 4 up here, basically in an ABC pattern, a corrective wave, because after wave 3, you see that wave 4, and a wave 4 consists of 3 waves. You can see how nicely this really ties up to a 3-wave pattern, what we are doing here. An A, B, C, absolutely possible. Yeah, absolutely possible, absolutely likely. And then from here, that would then be that wave 4 up there. And you could start your move down in a final wave 5 once more into that target area down here, possibly even deeper into it. Yeah. And that would then conclude that overall higher level wave 2. Yeah. So basically this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern would be part of that larger wave 2. Yeah. So this is, so this would then complete that wave C here, obviously. So anyway, this is certainly a possibility that we can look at here, that we can understand here, that is still very likely as long as the price stays below that $3,412. The fact that we slightly moved above it does not invalidate that at all here. So there are still a lot of possibilities in the chart, and there are probably various other possibilities still how you could complete that correction and could come down once more. So I'm still not convinced that the correction is over. Yeah, at least not yet. I told you the $3,412 level is highly important. And even if we break above that $3,412 level, there is a good chance that Ethereum does exactly what Bitcoin is doing now. So again, if you've been following me, you will know that I believe that Bitcoin currently is doing an ABC. So in this pattern, you can count this here, all of this 5-wave move as a wave A, yeah, a larger wave A. So let me just show you that. So we come down here in a wave A, you're moving up in a wave B, and you're coming down in a larger wave C. That's certainly another possibility, and that is actually what I think is going to happen here on the Ethereum chart. That would now be in line with what I see on the Bitcoin chart with this wave B. And this means that we have further upside potential, and I'm going to show you where the price in this scenario could now be heading. I think this is the most likely scenario if we break that $3,412 level. So if we don't break that $3,412 level, then in my opinion, we are going to come down once more into the blue target area straight away. If we break it, my primary view or scenario would be that we are going to see the price land in the region between the 50% Fibonacci retracement level and the 88.7% Fibonacci retracement level. Now, it's not currently possible to specify that further, and the reason is because of the volatility in the crypto market and how the Fibonacci extensions and retracements are extended. But to narrow it down a little bit, and how I know it from Ethereum and what Ethereum normally would do, I'm going to adjust this a little bit in a minute. But the first major resistance that we're going to see then, after we break above that 200-day moving average here at around $3,500, the next major resistance will be the 50% Fib retracement at $3,562. But typically, and how I know Ethereum and what it typically does, I mentioned it many times before, that when a cryptocurrency or generally an asset has a certain behavior or has adopted a certain behavior, it typically keeps that behavior throughout its entire lifetime. That means if it usually in a wave B goes to the 61.8% Fib level, it would tend to do that in the future as well and not necessarily go to the 50%. So as I know Ethereum, it typically goes a little bit higher than just the 50%. So in my opinion, what we are going to see here is a move certainly all the way up to 3,891. But again, only if we break above that $3,412 level. We still are below it. We have done it today briefly, touched the 200-day moving average, as you can see here. But this is not what I need in terms of, yeah, we are breaking that level. This was just a small wick. And yeah, to be fair, it increases the chances we are going to break it once more and maybe then stay above it. But for now, this would not count as, yeah, we broke the level because it has not manifested itself above that $3,412 level. But this would then be that range in which I expect the price to go into, which is located between, $3,891 and $4,641. So somewhere in here, we obviously need to see how the price is going to react to each of these Fib levels, and we can then, when it gets closer to that level, get a better idea about what the price is going to do. And that is what I find very interesting. Now, is there a chance the whole correction could already be over? Yeah, it is possible. This is, of course, this cannot be, it is possible. The thing is, I would still only give it a fairly low probability because pretty much cryptos are following Bitcoin. And it's very hard to believe that when Bitcoin is now moving up, that Ethereum, even though Ethereum did reach its target area down here and basically completed the minimum requirements for a correction, it's very hard to believe that Ethereum has already completed the correction if Bitcoin hasn't. And in my opinion, Bitcoin hasn't. But again, we can only understand this space by looking at probabilities. We've got here this scenario that we possibly haven't completed the correction yet. Then we are currently at this tipping point, and if we can't break it, there is a high likelihood that we're going to then turn around and come deeper in the target area. The alternative scenario, which, no, in my opinion, is now the primary scenario, is that we're going to see that price go above 3,412 in more significant upside then. That could take us to at least $3,891, all the way up to 4,641, where we then would turn around and come back once more lower. On a higher level, you could then call that a head and shoulders pattern. That is also what I would expect primarily now for Bitcoin. And of course, there is a low probability, in my opinion, still that we are actually going to break to new all-time highs yet. But this probability is certainly higher than it would be for Bitcoin because Ethereum has already reached the target area. And I've mentioned it down here that the target area down here is or was the area for buying, where I had a lot of my buy orders placed, even a little bit higher, because I always want to secure myself for various scenarios. Yeah, I don't want to naively just believe in one scenario. And it is very important to understand what I tell you here is what I see in the charts. This is how I understand the market. Of course, I can be wrong as well. And as we know, there are always various scenarios possible. At least there is at least one bullish and at least one bearish scenario, or at least one more bearish and one more bullish scenario. Yeah, and I always try to give you an understanding of both scenarios and what the market can do in each scenario, what the market is capable of if certain levels are broken. But that does not necessarily mean that I base all my decisions purely on my primary scenario, because that would be quite naive. That would be quite, I don't know how you call it, but what I want to make sure is understand that also you understand that it is so important to just be prepared for both scenarios, because in the end nobody knows what's going to happen, but we can understand TA and especially the Elliott Wave analysis or method. It gives us an understanding of what a market can do in each scenario. And I want to be prepared for both scenarios, or for as many possible scenarios as possible. And how you do that yourself, only you can decide that. I basically, for example, with Bitcoin, for example, I started to buy already below 40K, just in case, even though I believe primarily Bitcoin will come down below 29K once more. But of course, I don't know, and I'm not going to miss out on any all-time high gains. So I already secured a position in Bitcoin below 40K, or actually various positions. And the same with Ethereum. Yeah, I bought that. I still think the price has a good likelihood, a good chance to come down lower into the target area once more, but I'm not going to chase the lowest low. Yeah, I said that previously many times, that the target area for me was time for buying, and I'm happy to already start buying slightly above the target area, because the long-term price perspective for Ethereum, you know, I'm going to see a $10,000 Ethereum here at some point. So especially with ETH 2.0, which might actually be rolled out this year. So it's getting interesting in the market at the moment. And just to understand, there are always different possibilities, and we can only use probabilities to understand the market and really understand these different scenarios to get an understanding of what the market is capable of doing. And at the moment, we are really here at one of these tipping points. In the end, we need to let the market decide. You know, it is the market that is going to decide what is going to happen here. But then there is a scenario if it goes up, and then there is a scenario if it goes down. Yeah, so that helps us to really maneuver in this market. Okay, and yeah, hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then yeah, check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.